Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Our mission is to take you on a most excellent adventure through time. Buzz in the Tower is so much more than a podcast. It's the map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And all you have to do is sit back, listen, and repeat after me. Klaatu! Barata! Buzz in the Tower answers the questions you didn't even know you had. Like who would win in a fight, John Rambo or Hans Gruber? Or who is dreamier, Jake Ryan or Marty McFly? So as we rank, debate, and offer fresh takes of the best from 80s cinema, please remember, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to a podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Don't forget to subscribe to Buzz in the Tower on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For bonus content, you can find us on all social media channels by searching our handle @BuzzInTheTower. For more podcasts, information, or to contact us with topics you'd like us to talk about, visit our website, buzzinthetower.com. That's BUZZN, thetower.com. Buzz in the Tower is brought to you by Verde Media. Max, I couldn't be happier with the way our website looks.
So good.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at our website yet, you need to right away. These guys, website development, online marketing, they are outstanding. Am I exaggerating at all?
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend having them build you one.
I love it. I love it. Look, they're the best of the best. And working with John, their owner, a self-admitted 80s martial arts movie nerd, was an absolute joy.
Is that why you said the best of the best?
That is why I said that. Was a tip of the hat to John. They're more than our sponsor. They're our partner. And if you are looking to build a website, they are the group to go to. Find their link on our website and check them out, Verde Media. Today's episode, it's an 80s movie dance-off, part 1. Ren McCormack knew the salvation of his town relied on a dance. Johnny Castle wasn't about to let anyone put baby in a corner. Films have a long-standing romance with dance. Whether it's Gene Kelly splashing in puddles or Kit and Play tearing it up at a house party, cinematic dance scenes have spanned every decade. As is always the case, the 80s did it best. Today we're going to rank our top 25 80s movie dance scenes. I'm Mo Shapiro, and joining me as always, the Willard to my Ren, Max Sanders. And with that, I thought this was a party! Let's dance!
I can't dance.
of every intro to every podcast that we've done so far, not one has more appropriately set out who you are than calling you Willard.
I wanted to be excited about this, and I'm like,
You're Willard from Footloose, for sure.
Well, he learns to dance.
He does. You can learn.
I'm 35 years old.
We could teach you.
I've taken dance lessons before, and they're just like, you're hopeless. Just go home.
I know, but as is such with everything in our lives, we can always learn and grow.
Yeah? I'm nervous.
Listen, Willard, you'll be fine.
Let's talk about dancing. I can do that.
At least I'm not calling you Cameron, because I've learned that doesn't go over well.
Can Cameron dance?
Cameron, I don't remember seeing him dance. Yes,
he's got hand motions
during Shake It Up Baby and the float. He's
little kind of head bobbing.
He's got the arms thing too. He's like, come on and shake it.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's like dad dancing.
I can do it. Yeah, you could do dad dancing for sure. If I can dad dance, you can.
Was Sloane a good dancer? I feel like she should be.
I don't recall seeing her dance.
Yeah, in Legend she doesn't dance either.
No. Not a lot of dancing in Legend.
More Prince of Darkness.
A little darker. So today, our part 1 will cover our 25th to our 11th favorite.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that there's so many dance scenes.
There's a lot.
We wanted to do top 10, and then we're like, holy shnikes.
Yeah, we could have done 40. We could have done the top 40, yeah. But I love where we landed. The 25 that you and I settled on are great.
There's some debate.
Well,
I'm reasonably upset about a few of these.
When are you not reasonably upset about our list? Has there ever been a list where you've been like, I don't think the Goonies should be in here? Which, by the way, if we hadn't have set the standard that we noted that the dance scene has to have music, if we hadn't have set that standard, I would have snuck the Truffle Shuffle into the top 25.
I would put it in instead of some of these garbage ones.
Okay? Oh, you stop it right now. This isn't how you sell the episode, by saying these garbage ones before we even start. Unbelievable.
Most of them are gems.
99.9% of them are gems. There's
I know that you know the one that I'm going to go to.
Oh my God. We'll get there. We'll get there. So we will on part one, because it's also nice too. You and I usually dive into a lot of the nerddom of these movies, but we're not getting too deep into the movies, more so into the scene. And some of these, there's nothing else to the scene other than just a really cool song and a memorable dance.
Yeah, we're gonna be in and out.
In and out. Beautiful. But some of them we won't. Some will drag our feet a little bit, which is okay. But we'll hit the 20 of the 25. Like I said, we'll do 25 to
11.
25 to 11.
You have a hard time.
I am such a bad. I'm really good at math, except on the podcast. We'll do 25 to 11 on part one, and then we'll do our top 10 on part two. Because we're doing less on part two, we can go a little bit more into the weeds on our top 10, which makes sense anyways because they're our top 10.
Do you think dancing was more important in the 80s than it was in the 90s and 2000s?
No, because if you look back, 70s. 80s,
right.
90s, 2000. It's not like there's a spike in dance scenes.
Just dancing is always great on TV.
Yeah, that's in the intro when we talked about like Gene Kelly. Go all the way back to Singing in the Rain. Like, he's dancing.
Yeah, Saturday Night Fever. All that
yeah.
kind of
Oh
stuff.
my God, if that is one of my exemption movies, I wish we could talk about because I love Saturday Night Fever.
So everyone thinks that Grease is in the 80s.
It's not 78.
78.
Yeah, 78. Yeah, I had to look that up because I'm like dying to try to sneak these movies into one of our lists.
I know.
All right, Max, are you ready to learn how to dance?
Let's boogie.
All right.
Cabbage Patch.
I love it.
I can do what's it called? When you're going to the supermarket and you have your cart and you're taking things off. What's that called?
That's not even a move. It's literally you pick your hand up and then it's putting your groceries away.
I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it called?
That's the point.
I
The fact that I don't know why it's called. Moving right along. Number 25. As you sit here and badger me and complain about the list, know that number 25 is your pick. You were given free autonomy and you slid this gem into number 25.
Well, because it's classic, okay?
It is. It's a beautiful scene.
It's someone learning something. This is the first time they ever danced.
Unbelievable. 1986's Short Circuit. Shocker for those of you that don't know Max. He rides hard. You ride hard for Johnny Five. Johnny Five is your guy.
Laser lips.
And there is a beautiful scene where Johnny he's gaining all of his input. He's learning to be human.
Watching TV.
Watching TV. And what movie is he watching?
He's watching
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
The dance scene to More Than a Woman by
also
the Bee Gees.
The director of this movie, John Badham,
did that movie as well. Yeah, excellent. So you and I will have the same fun facts on this one. He dances with our friend, our deep friend, Ali Sheedy, Stephanie from
with a terrible haircut though. Looks like she's wearing a football.
Still Ali Sheedy. Gotta love Ali
with a football
Sheedy.
on her head though.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
Was her hair that much better in Breakfast Club?
Yes.
With dandruff in it?
Yes, I liked that Ali Sheedy a lot better.
That is your all-time crush, I think, is Ali Sheedy from Breakfast Club.
Dandruff art. That's what I want.
Didn't you? Yeah, that is. I was trying to think.
Did I do dandruff art?
No.
Occasionally.
You didn't do that, no. So in this scene, Johnny asks Stephanie to dance, and this is our 25th favorite dance scene from an 80s movie.
Yeah, let's give it a whirl. Yeah. Big finish. Filmed in Astoria,
more
too,
input. More input.
Hey, when you can, at 3 a.m., if you can boogie with a $1.5 million robot that weighs 250 pounds and is sentient, do it.
I bet Paulie danced with his robot.
You need to stop.
Happy birthday, Paulie. My goal is to say that on every one of our podcasts.
I hate it.
Max, if we're going to get through all these, I can't spend time fighting with you about how great Paulie's robot is. We're going to have to move
Johnny
on.
Five's better.
Johnny Five at 25.
Yeah.
That is a Max Sanders special, ladies and gentlemen.
Fits, it rhymes.
They get better, I promise. Starting with number 24. This is an MG special, a Mo special, if you will.
This is cornball, too.
This is great. The 1985 coming of age story, Teen Wolf.
Coming of age, coming of wolf.
Coming of wolf story. Good old Teen Wolf. Scott Howard finds out he's a Teen Wolf, goes to the school dance as the Teen Wolf because this has brought him fame, popularity, t-shirt sales, everything.
Well, he's a good basketball player now,
too.
Too.
He's everything. He's the wolf.
Yeah.
And when you walk into that high school dance and the row separates, right? The Red Sea is separated. You're Moses literally walking through the
they're
row.
chanting wolf for him.
Yeah, they want the wolf. And it's kind of funny, just small nuance. Like as they're walking through there, obviously he sees the one blonde that he loves and she says hi and her boyfriend.
It was
gives
Mick
him a dirty
McAllister.
look. Yeah.
But then 27, by the way. The actor was 27.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So Styles.
He was. So Styles is excited to see him.
Boof. Sunglasses at night.
Boof is excited to see him.
What kind of name is Boof, by the way?
Boof is great. I love Boof. But his one friend that's weirded out by the wolf gives him the most disgusting look. And I can't think of his name, but like during the whole movie, he's not okay with him being a werewolf.
Yeah, but who was the DJ during this dance, by the way?
I don't know.
There's 3 songs in.
There are 3 songs on rotation. Yeah, it's a quick rotation. But when we break into the wolf, I think the dance is called The Wolf.
Yeah, Big Bad Wolf by Bunny and the Wolf Sisters.
No.
That's the song, right?
That's not. Yes, it is. You're right. It is. It's Big Bad Wolf by the Wolf. Look, the song is so outrageous. It's got a talk box like Frampton.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It's like Devo. It's very strange.
I don't know. Like this will be me making up the words. It's like go see the war.
And why is he wearing like a Scarface cream suit? Is he gonna take over the Colombian drug trade? Like, what's going on?
That's a little odd. I do think though he does a little bit of a throwback to Saturday Night Fever, because right before he comes to,
does he do the finger point thing?
No, but right before he goes to the dance, he's in the mirror with the blow dryer, and it's an homage to Travolta and Saturday Night Fever, and they have like the worst knockoff ever of that song. They obviously didn't want to pay for like the actual song, so it's like some horrible knockoff of
this whole movie cost $1 million, you know, and filmed in 21 days.
It feels like it costs.
They struck gold because Back to the Future came out before.
Oh yeah, they rode those heels hard. Yeah.
Although shout out Coach Finstock, by the way. I love Coach Finstock.
He's the best coach ever.
Everything else is cream cheese.
Unreal. So yeah, the wolf dance is essentially just the arms arcing up move from Thriller.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Terrible.
All right, good. But it's our 24th favorite 80s dance
We don't
scene.
sound like we liked it very much.
I liked it. You're more critical, but you got room for short circuit. Number 23 I do like a lot.
Yeah.
The 1988 Tim Burton smash, Beetlejuice.
Woo!
Beetlejuice.
One more time.
Beetlejuice. Is
that the song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, there was a Beetlejuice cartoon that I wrote hard for that
Yeah.
cartoon. I thought that was great.
Love Keaton. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times.
And it keeps getting better every time.
Funnier.
I blew it. You know what? I get too fired up. When you do a good quote, I always hijack it, and I got to let you do them because I screw them up. You're better at remembering
You know, he
them.
improv 90% of his lines.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is a gift from God to us.
In 14 minutes of the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't
You
that
know
crazy?
what movie I just watched the other night with him? What did I just watch with Michael Keaton in it? Oh, he was in the new RoboCop, the reboot of RoboCop.
Was it good?
The movie's terrible, but I'll watch it because Michael Keaton's in it.
I like the other guys when he keeps singing TLC
songs. Oh my
songs.
God, he's so funny in the other guys.
I don't want no scrubs.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Who talks like that?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
All right, back to the scene.
Back to the scene. All right,
doesn't
we gotta
involve
come on. We gotta move. We gotta move.
Yeah.
So Beetlejuice. Now I've said it 3 times. So Beetlejuice. Adam and Barbara, Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis. They die.
They did.
And they are haunting their own home.
Badly.
The Dietzes, Lydia, Charles, and what's the wife's name?
Delia,
yeah. They move into the
O'Hare.
house. Yeah, thank you. See? And then our friend from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and from
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah, and why can't I think of the other movie? Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
I tried to erase it from my mind.
Overlord.
They move in. Lydia is kind of goth. Played by Winona Ryder.
She's in the Phase Mom.
You love
My
Lydia.
Chemical
She's
Romance.
your kind of girl.
She was 15 years ahead of her time.
Big time. She helps, she wants to help Adam and Barbara scare her parents out of the house. Rather than using Beetlejuice, who is a little bit edgy, a little bit on the hard R side.
Slightly.
They want to do it in a cute way. So they haunt a dinner that they're having. And at that dinner, we get our 23rd favorite dance scene from an 80s movie, which is the Day-O song.
Harry Belafonte.
So, Max, I didn't have to do a lot of research on Harry Belafonte because if you are a hardcore Muppets fan like I am, Harry Belafonte was on The Muppet Show. And he actually talked about this song and where it came from and why it was made. But it's a great song. The story behind them doing it is hilarious to me. They end up using another song of his at the end as well. Jump in the Line, Shake Sonora.
Oh, so good.
Which is another great one. Yeah, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. We can only pick one dance scene from a movie and then that movie's done. So we had to pick between these two.
Yeah, absolutely.
We landed on the Day-O song.
This is more fun. This is iconic.
It is. Do you know the guy at the table from that they bring in town? That's Dick Cavett.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Dick Cavett show? Yeah. I thought that was funny, but I guess he was really a huge help in trying to get them to do the dance scene because for the hands that were inside of the shrimp under the table,
creepy.
It was really hard for everybody to do the timing, and he had a few tricks of the trade of his years of doing comedy and everything else to help guide them through that. But this put that song on the map for Harry Belafonte, who at 91, when he was getting older, would always joke about how he had these young kids that were like into him now, and he couldn't wrap his head around that it was all from this movie Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and I like the frozen humiliation of everyone. Like, why am I dancing? Like, this is the only way I could dance.
Yeah,
is I was possessed.
I could do Othos. I could take the
like
ice
the
bucket.
shaking,
I could do the ice bucket upside down and just move around. But yeah, I love this. I love this movie. I love this song. I love this dance. Love, love, love. Beetlejuice.
Stop it. He's not coming.
He will. How great would it be if we were like, Keaton, and he just showed up.
What, a 65-year-old Keaton comes in?
That'd be awesome. Number 22. This is one that I don't even know if a lot of people know about this movie, right? It's very obscure. It didn't get like a lot of commercial success or anything. So Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, or Corey Haim as he's been known to have been called for time to time, they starred in a handful of movies with each other. Right. But in the 80s, of the 7 that they starred with each other, they only did, I think, 3 with each other. Yeah, 3 with each other.
The Burbs, Lost Boys, License to Drive.
Not the Burbs. Corey Haim was not in the Burbs.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Lost Boys, License to Drive, and Dream a Little Dream. That's what this movie is, Dream a Little Dream.
So I'm taking a stand. We need to cancel this right now.
Why?
Because it's terrible. It's sad. He's in this weird phase of loving Michael Jackson. We don't put a single John Hughes in this entire list. That's sacrilegious. We need to go to Shermer High School and light 16 candles and apologize. I say Pretty in Pink, Ducky's Dance to Otis Redding instead.
Is this the one that you had such an issue with?
Let's put Pretty in Pink, Ducky in here.
You can't just hijack the list like this. I'm not allowing it.
I'm audibling.
Nope, I'm not allowing it.
So I talk to our fans all the time. What are your favorite movies? You know, what's going on?
Nobody said Dream a Little Dream yet?
This movie doesn't exist to anybody. So let's give the people what they want.
Max.
Ducky.
Max.
I'm a duck man.
Max, I love Ducky. Your objection has been noted, and I'm overriding your objection.
What? The girl is terrible, too. She's in this little fake magic outfit.
All right. Listen, let's talk about this movie, because according to you, nobody's seen it, so I should at least tell people what it's about. Feldman plays a bratty teen who's obsessed with Michael Jackson, although he never openly even says that in the movie.
I mean, he's
dressed like Michael Jackson.
The Red Sox.
He dances like Michael Jackson. His name's Bobby. This old couple decides, the husband in particular, finds a way to like enter the dream world. Very Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger-ish, except nobody's dying. And he convinces his wife to do it with him. And there's an accident, and Corey Feldman's character and the girl in this movie slam into the wife and the husband, and their dreams get mixed with each other. The aura. You are literally falling asleep while I'm explaining
so boring.
this. I know. I'm sorry. So, anyways.
Nightmare on Elm Street without murder.
Right.
Boring.
Yeah, there you go. So the whole movie is basically Bobby and the girl, and they are being inhabited by the older people's bodies. And as a result of that, they go back and forth trying to learn how to dance and reconnect with each other. But there's a really nice dance scene to the song Dream a Little Dream, which is, it was a classic from, I think, like Doris Day was one of the, I mean, it's an old song, but it was remade by Mickey Thomas, who's the lead singer of Starship. So that's kind of cool.
I don't like this.
I have wasted the last 2 minutes talking. All right, moving along. I'm sticking with it. Dream a Little Dream.
That's the one, though. Everything
1989.
Else,
fine. Number 22. Are you happy?
No,
you're not. When are you really happy? Moving on to number 21. This is a good one. I like this one. Am I going to wash the taste of Dream a Little Dream out of your mouth?
For all the dorks out here.
Revenge of the Nerds, right?
Woo, Lewis and Gilbert.
Lewis Skolnick and Gilbert Lowe.
Do the laugh.
What?
Do the laugh.
Oh, you want me to do the laugh?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's
loud. You know he stole it from James Cromwell?
No.
Yeah, he did it in his test reel, and the guy who was playing Lewis didn't know what to do.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. So shout out to Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Our guy.
Goose.
R.I.P. Yeah. So this is kind of fun because I want to move away from the dance scene for just a minute and remind you of something. So you may not have picked this up. Gilbert, you know how he's the only one who really gets a girlfriend for most of the movie?
Yeah.
And that girlfriend is an Omega Mu, the sorority. And
she's cool.
Yeah. Her name is Judy. And do you know who she's played by? Michelle Mayrink. I think I'm saying her last name right. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Jordan from Real Genius.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, it's Jordan from Real Genius. I was looking at her. I'm like, that is Jordan from Real Genius. I never put 2 and 2 together, so I looked it up. It's Jordan from Real Genius.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. I double checked on this. I would never come at you ever with any Real Genius info. They are the exact same girl. Same girl.
Can we take a break for a second? I need to look this up.
Yeah, are we taking a? You know what? Hit it. All right, Max. You had your 5-second Google break. What'd you find?
Yeah, this is correct.
I told you.
Blew my mind.
You thought you knew everything about Real Genius, and I just gave you something you didn't know.
Technically, this is a Revenge of the Nerds fact.
Yeah. Well, back to Revenge of the Nerds. So, Revenge of the Nerds, they get thrown out of the dorms.
Unjustly.
They can't join a fraternity because they're nerds. So they decide that they're going to create their own fraternity.
Lambda.
They got to get a national chapter to support them.
You know what's a real Lambda now?
What? No.
Well, it's hard to say. But University of Connecticut in 2006 founded one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really
because of the
funny.
movie.
That's really funny. So in the movie, Revenge of the Nerds, Tri-Lam, we'll call them Tri-Lam.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Traditionally African-American fraternity. So that
I like their boss man. He's cool.
Yeah, UN.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. So it's the whole thing is hilarious, right? Because basically these nerds have to go to the Tri-Lams to get them to kind of approve them.
Yep.
And you got these like really like distinguished, very cool, long-standing African-American fraternity and a bunch of nerds, and they want really nothing to do with them. So they show up to the party. So they're at the party, and as they're at the party, the party's going awful. It's the worst. Like, nothing is going.
It's how I act at parties.
It's super
guys
awkward.
on one side.
At some point, Poindexter takes his violin out to play it because there's nothing fun going on.
You know what's funny? The violin song he's playing the entire time is a slowed down version of what he does at the end at the carnival.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, so
That
he's
is
been
really
practicing
funny.
the whole time.
That's funny. So it's going downhill, and Booger, the genius he is,
Curtis Armstrong
decides that by giving everyone drugs at the party, that'll kick things up a notch, which he was
not
right.
wrong.
He was
Yeah.
not wrong. And immediately after those drugs are handed out, you hear Michael Jackson's Thriller kick on at the party, and you see some dancing.
Yeah.
We start off with Poindexter, who gets a little bit of the excitement in his feet and then starts shaking back
He
and
feels
forth.
it.
Of all the dancing that takes on, it's hysterical across the board. Like even UN, the straight-laced Tri-Lam, you see him kind of break down for a quick second. Of
Lamar
all
dancing too is fun.
Who?
Lamar.
Oh, Lamar. Yeah, Lamar's hilarious. Of all the dancing, my favorite is Booger, who's going nuts dancing with two Omega Moose, who looks at them and says, "Damn you Moose, sure can party." That's probably my favorite line from the whole movie.
You know he didn't want to be in this movie?
You're kidding.
No.
Oh, he's like the best in the whole movie.
He's like, I'll do any other role. Well, think about it. The rest of his life, he kind of got pigeonholed as this guy.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Risky Business. Better
He
Off
was
Dead.
great in Risky Business.
Yeah,
he
but
wasn't that guy in Risky Business.
No, but he's always this kind of sleazy friend.
He had way more range in Risky Business.
Yeah.
I agree
Well,
with you on
that's an
the
actual
rest of
movie.
this movie. Yeah. But so that's our dance
He's still
scene.
sleazy in Risky Business.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He was great.
The
but
phone call?
I mean, they brought him back for like Revenge of the Nerds 10 in
Yeah.
like 1999.
You know
or
he plays
whatever.
Snot on American Dad?
No.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's really, really funny. So that's our number 21, Revenge of the Nerds, our 21 ranked.
21st.
21st ranked.
21
ranked.
21er.
God, I am terrible. Moving along to number 20. Max, the 1985 Pig in the Poke winners, the Griswolds, on their way for a National Lampoon European vacation.
You come, big strong man.
The dance.
My German's not so hot.
That's terrible. Your German is
you got it.
I got who you were referring to.
Lederhosen.
Clark in Germany decides, of course, to get the full Bavarian outfit. They got it.
If you went, would you do that? I'd go for it.
I am totally that kind of guy.
Yeah.
My family would be humiliated, much like the Griswolds. I basically am Clark Griswold.
But you know what makes this scene great is that the family really is getting along and loving and supporting him.
Yeah.
Like Audrey's happy. She's eating a pretzel. She's like, come on, Dad, get out there.
That's amazing.
Ellen's having fun. Like, it's the first time where
Rusty's making out with the local town girl.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up because it's a PG show.
Yeah, I know it is. But
Claudia.
it's all right. It's all right.
Claudia.
Oh, that's funny.
I hate you for bringing that up.
Well, no, but the best part about that is that
Get away from it.
No, I'm not going to get away from the midst of them making out. The town bells ring, and she's like, "Oh, the bells have not rung since the emergency of 1850 or whatever." Because
I was
basically
distracted. At that
I know,
point.
yeah. Because basically, you're the one who needs to move on. I'm fine. So he's in the Bavarian outfit. They're at Oktoberfest or the actual Oktoberfest.
Something like that.
Yeah. And he gets called up on stage to dance. This is vintage Chevy Chase.
Yep.
He is a physical comedian. When he was on Saturday Night Live and he would play like Gerald Ford, he'd fall down putting I mean, like he's so funny. And this is just
Gotta
him
be improvised,
This
right?
is him peacocking everywhere. I mean, this is just him having a
Slapping,
blast.
punching.
So funny. So as they're doing the dancing on stage, that's our dance scene. That is a great dance scene.
Yeah, it feels like Charlie Chaplin-esque. You
Yes.
don't need sound.
Absolutely. So coming in at 20, European Vacation. I like this one.
Chevy.
Clark. Clark, right? And then who would yell Chevy? But
Chevy's a fun name to yell.
moving on from one Chevy Chase movie to another Chevy Chase movie. At number 19 of our top 25, the 1986 romantic thriller. It's not a romantic thriller. I just couldn't think of what to call it. The Three Amigos.
Lucky, Dusty, and Ned.
Max, I take the dance out of it. I love this movie.
So did Tropic Thunder rip this off? Actors,
A little bit.
actors not knowing that they're not in a
little bit, right?
Yeah, I just got that vibe.
Although I don't remember in Tropic Thunder ever hearing all for each other and all for one, the Three Amigos.
I like the foot high five.
There are so many funny parts of this movie that I like. talk about like quoted movies that go underappreciated. Every single time that I'm looking for something or my friends and I are up to no good, there'll always be a, you two, look up here, look up here.
I like the call and return and no one's answering.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody. And they're like, what is going on?
It's the whole movie's
the
great.
outfits, the butt shaking.
Everything about it's great. The
spur sounds.
The singing bush.
Yeah. I love the spur sounds.
Yeah. Everything about this is great. So the dance scene is, of course, they roll into town. Again, for quick kind of reference, The Three Amigos is a movie about three actors who play the Three Amigos who get hired because in the small town of Santa Poco, Mexico, they think that they're real. They don't realize they're actors. So they hire them to go up against the evil El Guapo and bring peace to their village.
Right.
While they're there, they also have some Germans who are either selling or buying guns. I can't remember, to the El Guapo.
Yep.
For the life of me, I can't remember if they're buying or selling them. Irrelevant. The one real nasty guy comes to this local bar before them, and the guy's being made fun of for looking all fancy and nice, and he basically shoots everybody up and says, "I hope you treat my friends nicer when they show up." So when the Three Amigos show up at this bar, everyone's terrified of them,
Right.
not realizing they are the three softest pillows in the world.
Yep.
So to break the ice, I can't remember if it was Steve Martin that turns to Martin Short and is basically like, "Ned, why don't we soften the crowd a little bit?"
Yeah, they got Chevy to play the piano.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And they do a little, "My little buttercup has the sweetest smile, smile."
It's so weird.
It was a great scene. It's a great dance scene and song scene.
You know, the director was facing manslaughter charges while this movie was going on.
You really took the wind out of the excitement of that. I just got done singing "My Little Buttercup," and you're like,
sure if I should say
and
this
you're
part.
like, pop, just de-aired the balloon. It's great. Thanks, Max. Great.
You know that story or no?
I don't want to know that story. I love this movie.
Oh, John Landis and manslaughter.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I did know that because it's interesting. I was just reading an article the other day that the friction between Eddie Murphy and John Landis regarding coming to America is because of this very issue. So I guess Eddie Murphy didn't show up to like any of the trial and didn't support him at all. So after that, when they did Coming to America, there was all this friction between the two of them because of Eddie Murphy's lack of support.
Interesting. It's also why Spies Like Us got made, because he couldn't work with any studio. So working with Warner Brothers, who was a studio he was with at the time, was the only way he could show he could still be hired in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't want to do Spies Like Us.
Which I love Spies Like Us. That's funny.
Sorry, I took us on a tangent.
No, that's great. It's super sad. Thanks for bringing up manslaughter. Anyways.
Dance at a funeral.
Leaving El Guapo and moving to a plethora. We moved to a plethora of other options. We are now moving from our 19 out of 25 to our 18 out of 25.
What's with you and counting?
I'm not good at it when I'm doing the podcast. I'm sorry. I hate you so much.
Carry the 4, 7.
Divide by 2. Coming in at 18, Bruce Leroy and the Last Dragon.
I forgot how much I love this movie.
Barry Gordy. I mean, Barry Gordy, it's great, right? Like he was Tyler Perry, right? So I think of like Tyler Perry
I can see that.
and kind of like culturally what he does. And Barry Gordy made a really big point of his career. I mean, he's the godfather of Motown.
Yeah.
You know, like what he did for African Americans, for music, for culture is incredible. Like Barry Gordy.
Yeah.
He's a monster, right?
Yeah.
So he puts together, I wouldn't even call it a satire. I would just say it's kind of like, you know, the
It's like Little Shop of Horrors kind of vibe.
No,
like culty.
No, I mean, so you're thinking more of how it was received. I'm thinking more of how it was put out, right? So you have Enter the Dragon, which is Bruce Lee, and then you have The Last Dragon, which is Bruce Leroy. You got Show Enough. You got all these amazing characters.
R.I.P. by the way, sad.
Oh, he died?
A while ago.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
You know he didn't practice any karate for this movie?
It's very clear he didn't practice any karate for this movie. I love this movie. So there is a really kind of odd scene in this movie that leads to the dance part of it. So Bruce Leroy finds like a fortune on a fortune cookie,
right?
And that fortune, he has to find the master. So in his search for the master, so he can become the master, he goes to the factory that makes these fortune cookies, and he runs into
some hoodlums outside.
There are. He runs into a gang of Asian employees for that factory
with mesh tank tops, one glove.
Right.
The middle dude looks like he's 40.
Right. Well, so it's so funny because like in our and I try as best I can to be very politically correct, but it's almost very difficult to explain the scene because there's a lot of cultural appropriation. So I'll just kind of at a high level, you have 3 Asian guys that are basically culturally appropriating urban behavior. You have Bruce Leroy, who's culturally appropriating Asian culture, and the juxtaposition of that when the two of them interact with each other is what leads to music dance scene.
It's bad dancing. It's
horrible dancing. The song, do you know what the name of the song is?
No, I did not look it up.
It's Sukiyaki Hot Sake Su by Mad Dog. That's the name of the song that they're dancing to. So it's a hilarious dance scene. It's absurd, and it makes our list at number 18.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one after all that.
Yeah, right? Well, at least there was no manslaughter charges on this one. But shout out to Barry Gordy. This entire movie, it's a great movie. You haven't seen it, check out The Last Dragon.
And a giant boombox. I love a good giant boombox.
You do. I mean, it's not say anything, but it's close.
Lloyd Dobblers.
So moving on from 18 to number 17.
This one's insane.
Insane. If you ever wondered why Crispin Glover got casted in Back to the Future as George McFly, and also if you wondered how weird is Crispin Glover, look no further than our selection at number 17.
This is so weird.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, 1984. Are you a fan of the Friday the 13th movies?
I haven't seen any of them.
Really? Oh, you hate horror films.
You're going to have to make me watch all of them in a week, and I'm going to have nightmares for...
So we're eventually going to go through a litany.
I know, people love 80s horror.
I know, we're going to go through...
I'm sorry, everybody.
It'll be good, though, because you'll get your initial reactions. It'll be like a lot of what we do right now, where I've seen some of these, and you get your initial reactions.
The Fly still creeps me out every time I think about it.
Yeah.
I saw it when I was like 12.
I've got a lot of movies for you to watch. A lot.
Just the hair on his back,
yeah, it's going to be terrifying.
When he pukes up sugar and stuff.
So this movie takes place where its predecessor did. So this is the fourth Friday the 13th. It came out in 1984, which, by the way, in the 80s, there were 8 Friday the 13th movies. That's just in the 80s. That's just in the 80s. There are 8 of these that came out. Yeah, you have to watch every one.
How many nightmares?
Why can you not do your sad puppy voice? You'll be fine. You look so sad right now. All right. So this is the fourth. Picks up where the third one left off, where shocker, Jason Voorhees is dead. So in this
No.
movie, I know in this movie he escapes the morgue and goes back to Crystal Lake. I don't care how many times or how many people tell me that he would be dead. I would never go to Crystal Lake. Like, why would you want to go there?
No,
it makes no sense to me. Whatever.
And if things get amorous, you're gonna get killed.
Right. Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. So Corey Feldman's in this movie.
No way.
Yeah. Shocker. So
slightly better.
Yeah. So there's a scene where they're all partying, and Crispin Glover goes up to this girl. I can't, because it's so absurd. If for the people listening to this, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about. When you YouTube this or Google it, you're gonna die at how weird this is. So he asked this girl to dance with him. The song that's playing, let's talk about the song that's playing. It's by a band called Swarmicide. SWARMICIDE. Do you know what the name of the song is?
Anthrax.
Hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew? Now, that's the name of the song. And shortly after this dance scene, Crispin Glover says, hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew? And Jason Voorhees slams the corkscrew into his hand. So literally the song is named after him saying, hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?
Interesting.
Very interesting. The original dance scene itself was done to AC/DC's Back in Black. That's actually what they were playing, but I'm guessing for cost.
He doesn't look like he's dancing to that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it doesn't look like he's dancing to anything.
It's like he got stuck in an electrical socket.
It's hilarious. It is definitely our number 17, and it's hilarious. So moving from slasher films to our
emotional slasher, family slasher.
Number 16, coming in at number 16, the 1983 Joyride. National Lampoon Vacation.
This is crazy.
Clark Griswold and the gang. The one that started it all. I mean, this is a great
John
movie.
Hughes, too.
See, and you having your nervous breakdown earlier about how John Hughes wasn't on this list.
Did he direct this, too?
Yeah, John Hughes wrote it and Harold Ramis directed it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little different.
But
and we get Ramis in there,
Hughes is there. Hughes is there. That's all you need to know. So the dance scene in this, you got Christy Brinkley in the Ferrari 308 GTS. And maybe that was Hughes's contribution. He must love Ferraris, right?
So who's the dude next to her in the Ferrari? There's a dude wearing suspenders who is clearly part of the Ferrari.
When at the you're talking about the truck stop when they're
he's standing on the other side.
Maybe he's just a creep because he's not driving with her when she's actually driving the car.
No, there's a truck next to them too. Yeah, but he's unreasonably close to the Ferrari.
Well, I didn't look into it that much. Okay. We'll have to dig into that. But at the pit stop where they take their blanket out and they put their sandwiches down, we have our We have our
You all
dance
right?
scene. No, this scene is so funny.
They pile out of the wagon queen family truckster.
You have to understand this is such a dad thing.
It's such a dad
Because like dads don't get looked at by any women anymore.
Well, it's all elbows and eyebrows
right,
too.
right.
Yeah.
Like so, like for me, like if like any beautiful woman like looked at me silly, I would be so uncomfortable. I would act exactly like this. I
Sexy
wouldn't know what to
sandwich
do.
play.
Yeah, I'd be
Smack
like
in the face.
I'd hit my face with the sandwich. I'd be like, hey, I'm dancing. So the song is "Little Boy Sweet." Which was June Pointer, the youngest of the Pointer sisters. Did you know that?
I did not.
Now you do. And I love that they're dancing. And again, like his wife and the kids and Aunt Edna are a few feet away. And you all of a sudden hear, why are these sandwiches wet?
It's so gross.
Aunt Edna's dog pissed all over the food.
And Aunt Edna just goes for it.
And
after.
while he's dancing, he just spits the sandwich out and goes back to dancing.
Why is Chrissy Brinkley into him?
I don't know, but it's great. It's absolutely great.
Dad fantasy camp.
This is our number 16 dance scene. I love it. So moving from, well, actually, to be fair, Max, before I even moved from 16, all this dancing has really kind of worn me out a little bit. Do you think maybe we should just pause, catch our breath, and do our ad?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, time to talk about our
Time for some
sponsors.
punch.
I love it. Some punch. Buzz in the Tower is brought to you by Capsiva Pain Relieving Gel. And I can tell you that if you're sitting at a table across from a guy who has to go to the bathroom every 25 minutes, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get muscle soreness, psoriasis. Capsiva is all natural. It's okay. Capsiva is all natural and designed to increase blood flow for the healing and pain relief process. Try it for free at capsiva.com. That's CAPSIVA.com. And Max, I'm an old man and I need this kind of stuff. It works. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's like Wilford Brimley in Cocoon. You know what I mean? You feel revitalized.
That's exactly what it's like. Buzz in the Tower is also brought to you by Lindsay Larrabee Photography. If you have checked out our website, hopefully you have. You've seen the amazing photos that were put up there. Lindsay,
good.
Yeah, Lindsay and her team did all of those.
She teased my hair.
She was fun to work with. Just made the whole experience really exciting for us. She has been taking photos of families, children, and smiles in Metro Detroit since 2017. She loves what she does, and it shows. She works with her clients, catches everything in the moment, and adores watching the connections and relationships unfold in front of her lens. If you mention Buzz in the Tower, you get $25 off any family session in 2021. You can find Lindsay on our website under our sponsors page. Check her up and get some work done. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she made us look good. She can make anyone look good.
All right, now that I'm rested and the ads have been done, let's hop back into this.
This is our first real dance scene, I think.
Well, yeah.
Like professional level.
The Three Amigos was a professional level.
Yeah, whatever. Think about it.
Actually, Dream a Little Dream was a professional level dance scene, and you had a nervous breakdown and made me throw it off the list, which I won't.
Every time he did a move, he's like, come on, and then waits a few seconds, and then doesn't. That's not how you dance.
That's the magic of dance. Are you really the person that should be saying that's not how you dance?
Because that's how I would dance. I would do one move. I'd be like, look.
If you can dance like Corey Feldman and Dream a Little Dream, I'd be impressed.
Out of all these movies, I feel like I could dance the best like that.
Maybe. I think you could do Johnny Five's dance.
Giant robot suit.
Yeah, just zooming around. Coming in at number 15 on our top 25 list of 80s movie dances, we've got the teen musical drama taking place in New York, Fame, 1980.
Watched it last night.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Loved it.
It's really good.
It's like every theater kid's fantasy camp.
Right.
It's like, we're here, we have problems, we're loud, we're crying, but we're talented.
Dancing, singing, acting, stand-up comedy, following Coco, Ralph, Leroy, and Lisa.
And Bruno.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's not even a part of me that understands this movie.
No.
I have no talent.
It's a different culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I always fall back on like, show me a movie where like a high school football player is confused about life.
No, I like movies where I get to go into a world I never knew.
Yeah, that's what this is. I liked it for the same reason. And I think you'll really appreciate this. But for as much as I think this is like an odd movie, I knew about the song before I knew about the movie. Like I
won the Oscar.
Yeah, I loved this song. Like I remember hearing the song growing up, singing to the song. I didn't even know it was attached to the movie until I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah, by Irene Cara, the girl who actually played Coco.
Right, absolutely.
You know what's crazy? You know what's playing in the actual scene when they were filming it? They hadn't finished the song. It's Donna Summer's.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
Which actually they've gotten a lot of slack for saying they copied the song.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it have like a similar beat to it?
Yeah.
Or? I guess it kind of does.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So the scene that we're talking about, the cab pulls into downtown.
Bruno's dad, Mr.
Yeah.
Martelli.
Oh.
Today, 46th Street. Tomorrow, Madison Square Garden. Like, what a proud papa. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like glow like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll that white tape deck and just like throw the cassette into my cab and blast it down the street.
Like when your kids play soccer, you're like that, aren't you? Yeah.
To score a goal, I'm like, fame, you're gonna live forever.
You're gonna stop traffic on Fifth Avenue.
That's amazing. But yeah, I mean, the dance scene's amazing. They're all like, they fill the streets. It's choreographed. It's great.
It is laughable though that they listen and they hear the song and it's like the first time they've heard music.
It's a great movie. That scene is fun to watch, and it's a great dance scene.
Yeah. You know who got rejected for this movie?
Who?
Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Patrick Swayze surprises me.
Yeah.
Did they just think he was too handsome? Like they wanted more gritty? Or
I think everyone looks, young.
Yeah.
He's like a bulking big. Actually, he's only like 5'8", 5'9", I think.
This was in 1980s. I mean, he was pretty young.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's odd.
Maybe he got nervous.
I guess so, right? Max, this next one, moving from 15 to 14.
What was this?
This next one this has got such a place in my heart.
This isn't dancing.
This is the best movie.
This is carnival tricks.
This is the best.
This is going to the circus.
Max, stop it right now. There's a dance scene in this movie that we're going to talk about.
It's not a dance scene.
Max, this movie's rad.
Yes.
I mean, no, it's actually rad.
I know.
That's the name of the movie.
Yeah,
Rad.
this isn't who's on first.
1986 BMX adventure, Rad.
Original title, by the way, Balls Out.
Oh, I thought it was Radical.
No, Balls Out was an original title.
That's amazing. Crew Jones wants to win the BMX race called Hell Track.
Oh,
Hell Track. And this is a big deal because he's got to decide whether or not he wants to qualify for Hell Track or he wants to take the SATs and go to college. And he is committed. No, he can't do both. By the way, let me tell you the one thing about this movie you should appreciate. Do you know who the wet blanket is who's killing his sporting career and doesn't want him to do it? Do you know who it is? It's Talia Shore.
Who's that?
You don't know who that is. How about Rocky Balboa's wife?
Oh, Adrian. Okay.
The ultimate movie wet blanket.
Yeah.
She ruins everything.
What's Lori Loughlin doing in this movie?
She's amazing.
She has great hair.
She is. This is before she went to a federal penitentiary.
Oh, it is.
It's much before. I think this is well before any of the stuff that this is one of her first breakout movies.
Talk about bicycles on a dance floor.
Listen,
this is not dancing.
Crew goes in this town. The dance is not about dancing.
This is gymnastics or figure skating.
It's amazing. They do a BMX boogie scene where you've got
BMX boogie.
It's amazing. And you've got your girl, Lori I can't even say her last name. Laughlin. Thank you. Lori Loughlin. You've got Crew. They meet on the dance floor. And not only do they meet on the dance floor, not only do they have this amazing scene, but they're doing it to a great 80s song. Send me an angel.
By Real Life.
Right now.
I didn't like it.
What?
I felt like Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics would have been better.
Who cares? Okay, I'm not getting this. This isn't radical 80s. This isn't radical 80s jams. But the point that I'm making to you above and beyond everything else is this is absolutely a dance scene. And you've got like these open arms, like Lori Loughlin, like cruising on her bike. It's amazing.
So you've been to a few dances in your life, right?
I have. No, this has never happened.
You've never seen a bicycle on a dance?
I have to think.
Ever?
I'm going to do some research on that.
Okay.
Sure. Well, don't
any listeners out there, shout me out when this actually happens.
It's 19.
Love to hear it.
Listen,
love to hear it.
This is a big deal. In the movie, the one guy who's I think either sponsoring the race, he's supposed to be
Seems drunk.
the CEO of Mongoose. And you probably don't know about any of this, but like the bike Mongoose, like when I was this age, this is the bike I had to have. Now, you know me. Am I a biker? Do I do BMX biking?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know you were
absolutely
before
not.
you were dad.
No, absolutely not. I
was a big wheel guy.
I forced my parents to spend an obscene amount of money on this bike because everybody had it. This is huge. BMX biking in the 80s was literally the jam if you were a kid.
Yeah, biking, not dancing.
Well, they had pegs on the back of the bike. My bike had pegs, so I could do tricks and dancing. I never did any, but I could have done dancing.
Sure.
Max, I hate you. So moving on from
to some actual dancing. Let's go.
From our 14th pick. This movie, dancing aside, is one of my favorite movies. I love Airplane.
So good.
The Zucker brothers and Jim Abrams, the three of them, are responsible for some of the best slapstick movies ever.
Yeah, satire.
Ever. Like, fast forward.
Are you going to bring up Hot Shots again?
Of course, because Hot Shots is awesome. But even they individually broke off from each other. Like, one of them did Ghost. One of the Zucker brothers was who did Ghost.
No way.
Yeah. Then,
isn't that sad that's not an 80s movie?
It is. Then,
it's 90, right?
Then Basketball.
Oh,
one of them was
Basketball.
responsible for Basketball.
Steve Perry.
I think they've had their hands in some of the Scream movies as well.
With Wes Craven?
Was it Scream? It was one of them. Maybe it was like Not Another Scary Movie or one of like the slapstick
those are the
ones.
satire ones.
Yeah, I can't remember. But the bottom line is these guys wrote the book on slapstick.
Yeah.
Starting with Airplane, the Naked Gun movies. Like, how could you not love those? Hot Shots. Like, yes, Hot Shots, part 1 and 2. They're the best.
Part 2.
Airplane is the original, right? The original slapstick. There's so much great in here. There's so much great.
It killed the disaster movies of the 70s.
Right.
Because they're like, well, we can't do that anymore.
Well, this was specifically making fun of that one disaster movie.
Towering Inferno and Leviathan.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. God, you're good. So Ted Stryker and Elaine Dickinson. Great name.
Ted Stryker.
Stryker.
Oh.
Pow. They're doing flashbacks of how they met each other. And they're
Pinch me.
That was so great. There's so many great things in here.
Whoever the dude in the striped shirt who just starts dancing to the Bee Gees, that like guy with the suspenders.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
They're great. They're great.
An Oscar.
So they're doing their flashback of how they met, and there's like a bar fight. It's this dingy, crappy bar in the middle of nowhere. This guy gets his head thrown into a jukebox, which kicks into the Bee Gees "Staying Alive."
10% faster than normal.
Yes, and it's totally it's spoofing Saturday Night Fever.
Well, he's wearing the cream suit with the purple.
Which, by the way, like, talk about the staying power of Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever gets spoofed all the time. Like, that entire scenario. It's great.
The finger in the air, the
dance move, everything. So, I love, like, he's saying, but luck would be on my side that night. And then someone stabs the guy in the back who's dancing with her.
Pointing to it.
And then she's, like, mimicking the dance of pointing to the stab in the back. And then, like, when he throws his finger in the air, he throws his jacket off. Like stage right and throws back at him. This is there's so many great parts. They're doing usually when you see that one dance move where the woman's legs are wrapped around the guy and she's spinning around the room, and this one they flipped it and then Stryker was the one being spun around and then thrown. The whole thing.
And the Russian leg dance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
How'd they do that? They put him on strings?
They got a wire, holding him up.
I was like, whoa.
It was great. The whole thing was great. So Airplane, that dance move, our number 13 choice.
Last movie with Ethel Merman too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it makes me laugh every time she starts singing in the hospital. I had to bring it up. Sorry,
it's okay. The movie's great. We should do an Airplane episode.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh my god. Yeah.
Why don't you tell your dad to hustle up and
down the court? Do you like movies about gargoyles?
Have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
Made in 34 days, by the way.
Surely you jest. I never jest, and don't call me Shirley. All right, let's move on. This is the one that I thought you were going to contest and have the biggest fit about, not Dream a Little Dream.
So when you lean that heavy into hilarity, I'm fine with it.
This movie is, again, one of those little hidden gem movies that not a lot of people have seen. Or maybe I'm wrong. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. My sister's seen it 1,000 times, but you'll probably tell me nobody's seen it. Teen Witch.
So originally supposed to be the female version of Teen Wolf.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had the same lettering, tagline, shell of a plot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Teen Witch, we've got Robin Lively, who's playing Louise Miller. And she finds out.
You sure about that?
No, not at all. I haven't seen this. This is one I've not seen in easily 10 or 15 years, but I've seen it a dozen times.
Big question mark at the end of that.
Big question marks. She finds out she's got magical powers. And what do you do if you have magical powers? You obviously make a spell. No, you make a spell to make yourself the most popular girl.
All right.
Because I want to be the most popular girl.
I want to be Bezos or Elon Musk.
I want to be the most popular girl. She had it right. That's what I'm. I wish I knew the rest of the words. This is like when I try to sing Footloose. Caboose, spruce moose. I want to be the most popular girl.
Bees, 10 bees.
This is so terrible.
It's really bad radio.
Anyways, so her best friend Polly, who classic. Kid becomes popular, ditches her friend that was with her before.
That's what you gotta do.
Clearly. So before she's totally blown off her friend, she does her a solid. Her friend has a crush on local beatbox dancer and musician Rhett.
I'm king, and they know it.
See, you love it. You love it. And
I'm hot and you're not.
They're on their bikes. They just gotten done playing tennis, maybe, and I think because they had tennis rackets. I'm again scratching.
Sure.
I'm scratching the deep crevices of my memory right now.
I like the Lloyd Dobler car they're hanging out with, though.
There you go.
That is a Malibu.
They're on their bike, and Polly's saying how she wished she was more confident and she could talk to this guy. So they see Rhett and his boys hanging out by the car with the boombox. So the witch throws a little spell, gives her friend Polly some confidence, and we get top that.
It's so bad.
It's a great dance scene and musical.
Well, I'm here to say, and I like to think, and the rapper I'm reminded of is Curtis Blow. You know what I'm talking about?
Where yes, I know what you're talking about.
How you doing? It's a Monday. You ever experienced a Monday before? Like, how did rap turn from that to like what it is now?
Dude, this is great. This is some original OG stuff from '89. All right, fine, whatever. But the daughter who played the lead in this is funny. I don't think you've seen this movie. Have you seen Wildcats yet?
Nope.
With Goldie Hawn?
It's on my list.
Yeah, it's good. And she plays the daughter. And she also plays the girl in the third Karate Kid movie, the only Karate Kid movie where there's not a love interest. So like LaRusso loves Elizabeth Shue in the first one, the girl in Okinawa in the second one. But in the third one, he's just friends with the girl. And that is this girl.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, moving on from number 12 to our last one for the day. And then we're done with part one.
This is the last dance. This is the starlight dance. What's it called when they have the star spot dance?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like you have like the prom king and queen together have their dance, or like
where did you grow up?
Starlight dance.
Okay, starlight dance. Here's our starlight dance.
Sounds right.
No, it doesn't. I'll let you Google that later. So number 11 is a great one, and really this kind of sets the tone for what the top 10 is going to be on the next episode, because we're really starting now to get into the good stuff, quote unquote.
Real dancing. Coming to America, which is a 1988 John Landis gig, like we mentioned before, and this is Eddie Murphy at his best, presenting Miss Amani Aziz.
So it's funny, Colonel Aziz, or Izzy, is it Izzy or Ozzy? Ozzy. Colonel Ozzy, who presented his daughter and said, I'm here to present my daughter. Do you know what movie he's in? And when I looked at his face, when I rewatched this, I'm like, it has to be him. And then I looked it up and I was right.
Go for it.
He is King Willie from Predator 2.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. Remember the Jamaican drug lord who like can read the future and has all the voodoo stuff? That's King Willie.
Weird.
Yeah, that's him.
I don't know if I like that.
Two different roles, I'll tell you that. So Prince Hakeem, Eddie Murphy, is with his dad, James Earl Jones, King Jaffe. Yep, Vader, our boy Vader. They're also hanging out with Semi, Arsenio Hall. Are you excited to see the sequel to this? I'm kind of excited to see the sequel to this.
Not really.
Really?
Wesley Snipes looks fun.
Yeah, I'll be.
Crazy broke Wesley Snipes.
I'll be into this. So they're in Zamunda, which is a country in Africa.
Yep.
And Colonel Aziz has just offered his daughter, and as a part of that offering, King Jaffer. Why do I say his name wrong? Joffrey.
Joffrey. You're thinking Joffrey.
I am thinking Joffrey. The king accepts the offer. And as a result, they do this ceremonial dance, and it's
like 40 people.
It's more than 40, I think.
You think
right?
so?
Well, maybe it's 40. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's the choreographing, everything is awesome.
Backflips, chanting.
Do you know all the stories behind this? Because it's pretty wild.
Do you know who choreographed it?
Yeah, so you do know this. You go.
Paula Abdul.
Yeah. So do you know the stories behind her getting the job and everything? Because it's wild.
No.
All right. So Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall had season tickets to Lakers games.
She's a Laker girl.
She was a Laker girl at the time. She was 17 years old. Okay. She was a Laker girl, and she was also choreographing for Janet Jackson.
Right. Landis
says, I want the girl who's choreographing for Janet Jackson. So they all meet, and Paula Abdul talking about this is like, I read this article that was like her quotes. It was wild. She was super nervous.
I don't know if she's trustworthy nowadays. She's kind of all over the place.
Fair. But I mean, for her, this was a huge deal. I mean, think about it, right? Yeah. It's 1988. An Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah.
And like, if you didn't think you could get any higher on the level of like popularity and success than working with Janet Jackson and the Lakers, Eddie Murphy's probably the name that gets you there. She's trying to act a little bit more mature, a little bit older than she actually is, because she wants to get the job.
Yeah, you're 17.
Landis meets her and is like, what are you, like 16 years old? And she goes, no, I'm 19.
Yeah.
But she literally was like just turning either, I think 17 or 18 when they met. So she does all the choreography for the dance scene. And I think that's like wild, right? It doesn't surprise me. She's so talented. I know she's a little bit odd, but she's so talented. So talented.
The mole, her and Cindy Crawford.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Those are my first.
But yeah, that is for sure number 11 on our top 25 list. That's our number 11.
You ever seen the Busta Rhymes video, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See?
No.
So it's a complete reenactment of this. It's
fantastic. Oh, you're kidding?
It's really good.
Oh, that's really funny.
But like sped up in this weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah. So culturally, it kind of still, everyone knows that dance. You know what I mean? Like you can put it on a Doritos commercial today and everyone will be like, oh.
Coming to America is a great movie. Max, of our top 25 list, we have just completed first 15. And in part 2, we're going to jump into our top 10.
Shimmy.
So Max, I'm excited to introduce a new element, a new, what do they call it? Arrow in the quiver. Is that right?
We doing Robin Hood? What are we doing?
A little new arrow in the quiver. I can't believe I knew that. The first official Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight.
Woo, spotlight.
Max, I don't need to tell you this because you are the social media manager of Buzz in the Tower.
I am? Oh my God.
You are. Vice president of social media.
I need business cards made up.
Big time. But there are all these people that have these incredible Instagram pages. Even the people that don't have these Instagram pages, we just have some fans out there that we get messages every time we drop a new episode and they reach out to us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very cool. So what we want to use the Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight for is sometimes we want to spotlight these really great Instagram pages that are, praying at the altar of 80s retro. And sometimes it'll just be one of our fans, an individual that just kind of plucks our heart chords the right way, and we want to give them a shout out. We've had just an outpouring of positivity, and that's what this spotlight's meant to be. So I'm excited. The first guy that we're doing on the spotlight fits that category, Timmy.
Tim rules.
Yeah, Tim's the best. So for those who don't know Timmy, his Instagram page is called Back to the 1980s, and the 1980s is all numeric, and there's a Z at the end.
The Z makes it cool.
It does make it cool. Go right now. Excuse me, not right now. As soon as you're done listening to this episode.
Yeah, don't stop this.
Don't stop this.
You do both.
You can do both, right? Go check him out. This guy, so quick bio on Timmy. Born in the 70s, loves the 80s. Huge BMX skateboarding fan, just equates the 80s with the best music, TV shows, movies, and toys ever.
Correctly,
yeah. He didn't have a lot growing up, and that motivated him to be a collector now. And I totally get that. When you first start getting real money, you go back and you're like, I didn't get this toy on my 7th birthday. I'm going to go buy it right now. And that's what Timmy did. I mean, he's just collected an incredible amount of stuff. And let me just simply say, he found the perfect woman. I think that he said they met when they were children, right?
They met in 1985.
Yeah, so they were young.
Great movie year.
Awesome movie year.
Also the year I was born.
He has the most understanding wife in the world because what he has done, his collections that he has at his house. I mean, he started with just doing restoration on BMX bikes and toys, and he started an 80s room, and now it's an 80s garage. 3 years ago, put together his Instagram page, Back to the 1980s with a Z, and the thing has just blown up. He never dreamed that it would. There's another guy who we're definitely going to get on the show as well. John. Yeah, John, who has a page called That 80s Dude, which is another amazing page. The two of them are getting together and they're holding
They're Voltroning it.
They're Voltroning it. They're putting the cats together to make something special. They're making a 80s happy hour virtual meet and greet, which is going to be on March 18th. If you follow either of them on Instagram or us, you're going to see it because we're going to be a part of it too. But for today, we reached out to Timmy and we laid it out to him flat. We said, we're doing an episode on best dance scenes from 80s movies.
Right.
What's your pick? And let me say something, Max. Let me throw something out there to you. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
I can't believe it.
I had to fight like hell to get the BMX bike scene, to tooth and nail to get the BMX bike scene onto the even the back end, the 25 through 11 or whatever numbers we did. I couldn't even get it in there without fighting with you.
It's BMX stunting. It's not dancing.
Excuse me. Show some respect to Timmy, our first Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight.
I guess I'm wrong.
Because he's a pro and he knows it inside out without any prompting. No prompting. You were there when we had our Zoom call with him and I asked, what is your favorite 80s dance scene? And you know what? I'll let Timmy speak for himself.
Hey guys, this is Timmy with Back to the 1980s on Instagram. I know you guys are talking about movies with the best dance scenes. I know there are many. My favorite is one that not many would think of to be a dance scene. But for me, the movie that pops into my head instantly is Rad. Yes, I said Rad. It has it all. BMX, great song, freestyling, wild dancing. If you have never seen this movie, then please check it out. For the dance scene alone, you will love it. Thanks for having me. Good luck on your number one. Stay rad, y'all.
You need to check out this guy's Instagram.
It's nostalgia heaven.
It's incredible. 80s dude, Timmy Gibson. His handle is Back to the 1980 with a Z afterwards. That's 1980Z. And if you have a chance to check this out, it's fantastic.
Retro Nirvana.
Oh my gosh.
Toys.
Yeah.
There's just pastel colors, neon.
He's pure 80s through and through. And with that, we are ready to wrap up. Max, any final words on our dance marathon?
I'm exhausted. I need to sit down.
So hopefully you all punched your dance cards and enjoyed the show, and we will see you guys all back next week.
Later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.